have been presented as having been challenged at any point. So that then the irresistible conclusion that should be made from the point at which the Form 34A originates is that those Form 34As represented an accurate state of affairs at the polling station, both in terms of data and in terms of the integrity of the process of voting and the counting of the votes. And as I said, then the Form 34As find their way to the National Tally Center, both in terms of transmission and the physical delivery by the returning officer. Again, agents for both parties were given a chance, and as allowed in law, the first respondent made sure that he had representation of his agents and has presented some of those agents to vindicate and verify that the data that was eventually verified at the National Tally Center were the accurate data of what happened at the polling station and passed on to the National Tally Center. I would like also to emphasize that the two things that were supposed to be done at the National Tally Center was to determine the data, and secondly, to establish the security features of the Form 34S. Having said that, my lords and my ladies, and considering that especially at issue number 3, your attention is on the propriety and the integrity of Form 34A, I must submit that the petitioners have not adduced any evidence of any challenge of any Form 34A at any point in the national tally. And this is the second chance they have, having had an initial chance at the polling stations. There is none of the Form 34As that have been challenged. It is with this state of affairs then, and as a result of this process, that eventually we have the declarations of the result coming out to indicate that the total votes cast, total valid votes cast were 14,213,027, being a product of a process that was interactive and where all the parties were involved. It is a product of this process also that comes out with the result that the first respondents' total votes were 7,176,141. Now, the process of verification of the Form 34As before they were transposed to Form 34C is a process that took 6 days. And over the period, all the 6 days, my lords and my ladies, as I already indicated, there was no objection to the verification of the Form 34S. It is our submission, my lords and my ladies, that the petitioner, through his agents, were happy with the process up to the last minute when the tallies were done, and it reflected a win for a party other than the one they wished. So that the reluctance and even this petition is based on objection as to who the Kenyans had wished to be their president. Having said that, then I would like to move on to the main party who has challenged Form 34A. The witness the petitioner has brought for purposes of challenging Form 34A, being one Mr. Arnold Ochieng, and especially all the respondents have referred to him. Probably I shouldn't miss the opportunity to mention that Arnold Ochieng is an advocate. And some of the criticism we have about his affidavit and what it contains is to be looked at with the higher regard of the fact that being a lawyer, he should know more. One, my lords, he has sworn the affidavit and attached Form 34As when in his affidavit he acknowledges he was not an agent at any point. And so it brings in the point that that affidavit and what he says is hearsay. Number two, he produces